Hey everyone, in this video we're going to talk about sleep quality. So we're going to look at, what is sleep quality? How is it different from sleep duration? What are the different stages of sleep? Light sleep, REM sleep, deep sleep. What is REM sleep? What is deep sleep? How much do you need? What does it do? All those sort of things is what we'll cover in this video. I'm not going to go into how to improve different things. We'll save that for other videos because there's a lot of different ways that you can optimize your sleep. But in this sleep, it's just more about an overall picture of what is sleep quality, what to look out for, and how to understand it. So sleep quality, I guess the first thing to consider is getting enough sleep duration. So if you're getting between the 7 to 9 hours of sleep, that's when it's important to still look at the amount of sleep you're getting in your different sleep stages to understand your sleep quality. But the first thing would be just to make sure you're getting enough sleep duration. So if you're getting less than 7, especially if it's like as low as 4 and 5 hours of sleep, the first thing to do would just be try to increase your sleep duration and get in that within that sort of 7 to 9 range. Then once you're in that sort of range, start looking at your quality of sleep. And what we'll go through now is the different stages. So as you go through the night, you'll go through multiple sleep cycles, and each sleep cycle has some key stages. So the first stage is light sleep, and this is where you're sort of drifting off to sleep, and there's no real restorative benefits from light sleep. But then you enter into deep sleep. So this is where you get your physically restorative benefits, things like muscle and tissue and cell repair, and also the body is producing the most amount of human growth hormone during this time. So this is really going to help your body to repair and grow. So especially if you're someone who's, whether it's going to the gym or doing sports or whatever it might be, if your body's under stress and you need to recover, getting enough deep sleep is key for your body to recover. And you'll actually get the most amount of deep sleep in your first sleep cycle. So you'll get the most amount in the first cycle, and then as the night goes on, you'll get very low amounts towards the middle to end of your sleep period, and as you wake up. Then REM sleep is the next stage in the cycle, and it's a little bit different. So this is for your mentally restorative processes, things like your brain is converting short-term to long-term memories, and you're typically going to get very small amounts of REM sleep in the initial sleep cycles, and it won't be until sort of the middle to end of your sleep period, as you get closer to waking up, that you get the most amount of your REM sleep. And then there's always short amounts of wakefulness throughout the night as well. A good, I guess, average to aim for is highlighted in this chart. So around about 50% of light sleep, 22% of REM, 23% of deep, and then a little bit of wakefulness. Um, you can There is a lot of research that's been done on people's sleep quality, and everyone's a little bit different and not quite exactly on these percentages, but this is kind of like a good average to aim for. And there's a couple of red flags that you can kind of look out for based on this. So one would be just getting too much REM sleep. So if you're seeing that you have a much higher percentage of REM sleep, um, what this can mean is that maybe you've had, or most likely you've had, a poor quality sleep in the previous nights. And also you can find that if you have too much REM sleep, you wake up and you have an increased feeling of irritability, hyperactiveness, and it's actually not great for your mental health, but you get to be getting too much REM sleep. So that's one thing to look out for. Another thing is just too much light sleep. So if you have a really high percentage of light sleep and a low percentage of REM and deep sleep, then you're not going to be getting the physically or mentally restorative benefits of sleep. Even if you are sleeping for 9 hours or more, if you're not getting if you're getting a very low percentage of REM and deep and not enough, you're not actually getting, restoring your body and restoring your mind. And that's why it's key to look at the quality and not just the duration. So I'll just also talk about a couple of studies. So if you're interested in doing some further reading, there is a lot of research that's been done to show the importance of sleep. I think everybody knows how you feel. If you don't get enough sleep, you feel tired. Maybe you feel a bit cranky, all those sort of things. But there are a lot of studies that have been done just to show how important it is, because it definitely does improve your recovery, your performance, your memory, your cognition, your mood and happiness. So, basically your body's ability to perform, your mental ability to do, to concentrate on tasks and think about things, and also your emotional state as well, just feeling happier. Um, and there are also a lot of studies that show the effects of sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation can happen, obviously just by not having enough sleep in one night, but then you can have, continual sleep deprivation that leads to increased risk of all sorts of different health issues. So if you want to dive in and look further into the research, there is a lot of good research that I've linked to here. And if you're curious about how to actually measure your sleep quality, there are a couple of really good retail products. So one way to do it is by buying these sort of retail products like a Whoop or an Oura Ring. I think that they're probably the best in the market. Without having to go to your sort of commercial grade, going into an actual sleep study lab and having all the sort of commercial grade equipment. These are, and they if you look at their websites, you can see they have compared to how they hold up compared to the sort of more commercial grade stuff that is used in a sleep lab, and it's a pretty high bar. And the reason that these devices are better than, say, your Apple Watch or Samsung Watch, and I've also tested out a whole range of different sort of mainstream devices like the Apple Watch and Samsung watches, and they just don't give the same readings. So it's not, I guess, it's giving different readings, and what the way I think about it is the companies like Whoop who are showing that their measurements are close to your sort of commercial grade sleep lab equipment. It's because they have a team of really awesome data scientists who are working on this stuff. They have different algorithms. They're trying to detect different sleep stages, and they're putting obviously a lot of effort into making these devices as accurate as possible. And that's why I think that they're going to give you the most accuracy. Probably the best thing to use. Obviously, there is price concerns, and you can still leverage other devices, but for accuracy, I would say that these are probably the best. And what this will do is just help you to actually see how much sleep you're getting in these different stages. These devices will also measure other things as well on top of that. But if we're looking at just at sleep, just being able to baseline where you're at, how much percentage of time you're spending in light, REM, and deep is really going to help you. And then there are a lot of different things you can do to actually optimize your sleep quality, get more REM sleep, get more deep sleep, all this sort of stuff. I'll cover in other videos because I'll probably tackle one thing at a time because there are a lot of different things you can do. This was more just to give you an understanding of what sleep quality is. And if you want to dive a bit further, there are some great books and articles to read as well that you can jump into. So I hope this was helpful, and in the next round of videos, we'll look at different ways to actually optimize your sleep quality. Thanks, everyone.